guys, it's Jodie and welcome to a new video. So today I'm going to be doing my January TBR and I'm really excited because it's the first TBR of 2022. I have amazing books on this TBR and of course it is a very big and ambitious TBR to kick off the year because why not? I am definitely in the reading mood. I'm actually filming this a little bit later into the month than I would normally film it. And I have recently just done a 24-hour readathon, so I did actually tick off some of the books during that readathon, which I'm really happy about. But yes, I'm definitely in a reading mood. I'm excited to read lots of books this month. I'm really excited for my Patreon buddy read this month, which I will get into in a bit. But yes, if you guys would like to see all of the books that are on my January TBR this month, then please keep watching this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you're planning to read in January. What is on your TBR? Which books you're most excited for this year? I would love to know in the comments. But yes, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so I'll try to show you my TBR so you can just see how huge it is. So yes, these are all the books on my TBR this month. Okay, so we may as well go with these ones first just because they've just fallen all over me and I have actually read some of these and they're at the top of the pile. So these are the first ones on my TBR. So this is the Waiting for Spring manga. I have volumes 1 to 6. Now I did recently read volumes 1 to 5 during 24-hour readathon, which should be up already. I will link it down below. But yes, I recently read volumes 1 to 5 during that readathon, so I've already read those. I just have volume 6 left on my TBR for this month. This is a super cute kind of friendship story and a bit of a romance story. We follow 4 basketball players and a young girl who struggles to make friends and struggles with friendships. And there's a bit of romance and kind of like a almost found family kind of trope in a way, but it's just a really nice, like, cute manga series. It's my favorite series ever and I love it. So yes, I'm really excited to read volume 6, but I highly recommend this manga if you are looking for something that's light and fluffy and really cute. This is definitely the manga for you. So book wise, the first book I may as well talk about is my Patreon buddy read for January. So over on my Patreon, do a buddy read together every single month where we vote on a book and we read it together, and I film a spoiler-filled vlog for that book as well. So this month's book is King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair, and I read A Touch of Darkness with my patrons earlier this year. And as you don't know, Touch of Darkness is a book or a series by Scarlett St. Clair which follows Persephone and Hades. It's a dark kind of new adult romance. It's got Greek mythology in it. It's like kind of modern urban fantasy and it's just so freaking good. I absolutely loved it. That vlog is on my Patreon, but this one I'm so excited for because I've heard so many good things, and this one is vampires, and it is a dark fantasy romance with vampires in, which yes, it just gave me that yes. I've been waiting for this book for so long and I'm just so excited to read it. I think I'm gonna absolutely love it. I've heard so many good things. I'll read the synopsis to you guys just so you can get a really good sense of what this book is about. So in this book we follow Isolde, and on the back here it says her wedding day is to be her death day. To end a years-long war and protect the people of her kingdom, she is to marry the vampire king Adrian Alexander Vassiliev and kill him. So I already love the sound of this because I love that trope of like a kind of marriage trope where the female's like assassin, like plotting to kill them, but then usually they fall for each other. That's like one of my favorite tropes. It's real enemies to lovers, and yes, that is my absolute favorite trope. And it reminds me of The Bridge Kingdom, which the second book of I've recently just finished, which has the same trope in, and I just eat that up. Like, I love that trope so much. So this is the main reason I want to read this. Basically, like, her assassination attempt doesn't go to plan, and Adrian basically threatens her that if she tries to kill him again, he will raise the undead. So she decides to try new tactics to try and assassinate him, and as she goes further into his court and things like that, she realises that nothing is as she once thought it would be, and she is slowly developing this intense attraction towards Adrian. And it says in here he is wrapped in mystery with a past he refuses to discuss, but nevertheless he starts to become less of a monster to her. Despite their undeniable chemistry, she can't help but wonder why the king, fierce, complicated, ambitious, and at times inexplicably tender, chose her as a consort. The answer will shatter her world. So yes, I absolutely love the sound of this. Dark romance and vampires, yes please. Okay, so this next one I don't really know much about, and I am going to keep it that way. I just want to read this because it is all over BookTok, it's all over BookTube, and everyone constantly asks for this when I work at the bookshop. So I'm like, well, I may as well read a Colleen Hoover book now. I've never read any of her books before, and I think this will probably be the one I read first. I have been tempted by It Ends With Us, but at the same time, I'm not too sure if that's like really my vibe. I don't know. But I'm going to go with this one first, I think. All I know is this is a sort of love story that will make me cry. That's kind of all I know. I'm not gonna read into it. I may be reading this for a vlog at some point this month, I'm not sure yet, but I might be doing a vlog for it, so you guys will see my reactions to it then if I decide to do that. But I'm pretty sure I don't even need to give a synopsis because most of you guys have probably read this or are aware of this book. But I just kind of want to go into it not knowing anything because, like I said, I might be doing a vlog for it. But yeah, Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover is going to be on my TBR this month. If I don't get to this month, I will read it next month, but I think I probably will read it this month because I am feeling in the mood to pick this up. So next we have a dark fantasy romance, which is Neon Gods by Katie Robert. And all I know about this is that it is a Hades and Persephone retelling, which is like my favorite Greek mythology retelling and my favorite kind of fantasy romance. Like, I just love them so much. And all I know about this is Persephone is kind of ambushed into a marriage with Zeus by her mother, and to kind of escape this she flees to the underworld where obviously Hades rules. And I think the two of them kind of band together to enact revenge, but obviously start to fall for each other, and that's pretty much like all I know. I'm just so excited. I love any of these retellings, especially dark fantasy romance, and I feel like everyone's seen or heard of this book and everyone constantly recommends it to me, and apparently the spice level in this is very, very, very high. So I'm excited for that. I cannot wait to read this, and I think I'm going to absolutely love it. Like, I'm predicting 5 stars, predicting it's going to be a new favourite. Cannot wait for it. Okay, so this next one I've spoken about quite a few times in different videos, but that is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. So this is a book that did come out quite a while ago. This is just a proof copy that I never got around to reading, and I want to read it this month because it is Waterstone's book of the month, and I've been meaning to read this for the longest time. Now I'm probably going to end up listening to this via audio. I have the audiobook downloaded, and I'll probably just have like my favourite quotes and things in here. But I love Greek mythology and I've never read anything to do with Ariadne before, so this literally does follow the story of Ariadne, and that's pretty much all I know about it. And I'm very, very excited to go into this because I really enjoyed so many Greek mythology retellings from female authors, and just kind of like seeing the Greek myths from a female's gaze and kind of doing these females justice and giving them kind of their moment in the spotlight. Like, I like it, and I've just loved every single one that I've read, so I'm very excited to get to Ariadne. I know Caitlin loves Ariadne, so if Caitlin loves a book, I usually do too. Yes, I'm probably going to listen to this on audio, but I'm really, really excited for it, and I've heard so many good things about this book. Next is another proof that actually comes out on the 20th of January. Now, realistically, I don't think I will read this before then, but we never know. So this is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan, and this is obviously a proof, and I meant to read this at the end of last year, but I just did not read much at all towards the end of last year, and I'm hoping I can read this month. Maybe before release, we'll see, but being realistic, I don't know. So this is inspired by a Chinese legend, and it is got a romance in it, Chinese mythology, obviously about the moon goddess. It's got like family stuff in here, an adventure, romance, and all these different things. And as you can see by this text on the cover, you can pause if you want to read. I feel like this gives you kind of like an insight into what this book is about, but I don't know an awful lot about it. As soon as I heard that it was a mythology retelling, especially one that was Chinese, I was instantly interested in reading this book, and the fact that it's got loads of romance in. So many people who've also read a proof of this have told me to read it, and I've seen nothing but praise for this book, and I just know I'm gonna love this when I read it. So I would love to read this before release. Hopefully I can, but if you guys do want to go and check out this book before it releases to make sure that you get your hands on a copy when it does, have a link down below. Waterstones might have some signed copies available, I cannot remember. If they do, I'll have it linked down below, but I'm very excited to get my final copy of this and to hopefully read it this month. So next is a book I've actually recently read during my 24-hour readathon this month, which is A Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova. And this basically to me is if you took Akatar and For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten and smashed them together, you would get this. This is their child essentially, and I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. It's such a good YA fantasy kind of romance magical story. Like, it is so good. In this we follow Luella, and Luella is a healer in her village, and her village is situated across the border from where the Elven Kingdom is, and there has been this treaty in place for thousands of years where the Elf King will come and he will take a wife from the human village. However, this village is kind of a magical one, so they typically live for around 100 years, and he will come and he will take one woman, and this one woman is the only woman who's called a human queen because she possesses magic, and this magic helps to keep the fade, it's called, kind of balanced, so that human world and this magical realm with elves and fae and vampires and all these different creatures in can keep a balance, and things doesn't turn to shit basically, and war doesn't break out. And then the Elf King arrives for our main character Luella, and she is taken to this whole other world, no training, no clues to who she even is herself, and she's forced into this marriage with this Elf King, and she also has to fulfill all these things as a human queen. And yeah, it's a really good book. The magic system in this is very similar to in For the Wolf. It's very tied to herbology and plants. It's such a cool magic system. I really thought it was really good, and I think it's quite unique as well. So if you really love plants as well, you'll definitely love the magic system in this book. And the romance as well is really nice. It's nothing too adult or anything like that. There's a few mildly spicy scenes but nothing too intense, and this is just a really fun, easy, quick read, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm definitely going to be picking up the other book that is in this series. This is basically part of a series all set in the same world, but they're all standalone novels, so you can read them however you want to. I will definitely be picking up the Fae one that she's done, and I'm so excited for that. But this was really good, and I would definitely recommend this book. Okay, so next is actually another one I have finished on my readathon as well, which was The Traitor Queen. This is by Daniel L. Jensen. So this is the second book in the Bridge Kingdom series, so I'm obviously not going to talk about the synopsis for this book because it is a sequel. But essentially in the Bridge Kingdom we have the enemies to lovers trope, the forced marriage trope, and basically she goes in disguised as this lovely queen, but essentially she is a assassin who's plotting to kill her husband and take his throne and his kingdom. And then we have enemies to lovers romance and adventure. It's so good. It's not a fantasy, believe it or not. There aren't actually any fantasy like kind of things, like there's no magical things in there, but it reads like a fantasy and it is so good. I cannot recommend this enough. If you like Sarah J Maas, if you like Scarlett St. Clair, if you like enemies to lovers, then definitely check out this series. It's so good, and I cannot recommend the audiobooks enough. The audiobooks are probably my favourite audiobooks ever. The narration, everything is just so good and I love them, and I gave this 5 stars and the first book, so I definitely recommend this series. But this was on my TBR to finish this month, and I did finish it and I loved it. So next we have a reread, which is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas, which is part of the Crescent City series. And obviously we all know that the second book is due out in February, House of Sky and Breath, and it's my most anticipated release. I cannot wait to get my hands on that book. So I absolutely love this book. When I read it last year, I was so lucky to be sent a proof copy of this book. I think it was last year as a blur to me, but I'm pretty sure it was last year. And I did do a spoiler-free reading vlog. It was one of my first vlogs. I absolutely love that vlog, so I will have that linked up here and down below if you guys do want to check that vlog out. If you haven't read the book, then it will give you maybe a little bit of motivation to read it and you can get a sense of what it's about. I do include a review at the end. For those of you who've already read it, it will also maybe prompt some memories to you to refresh your brain before you read this. So yes, I will have that link down below. Basically, I want to reread this before the second book comes out. I'm going to be doing a buddy read of this with my friends Kat, Aria, Kay, Emily, and potentially Lily. I'm pretty sure we're all doing it. Some have already read this and some are reading it for the first time, so it's going to be so fun for us all to read it together, and I'm so excited to dive back into this because I haven't read it since I read it last year, and I miss this world and I miss these characters. So this is Sarah J Maas's only adult series, and this is an urban fantasy. In here we have a whole different array of creatures. We have mer people, we have angels, we have fae, we have all different sorts of creatures and loads of different paranormal creatures. It's absolutely incredible. The world building is so good. I absolutely love this book so much. But basically we follow Bryce. Bryce is kind of dealing with a lot of different things and she doesn't really know who she is, and she has a lot of kind of troublesome relationships and different things. And then there is this murder that happens and she ends up kind of being swept up in this. She's trying to figure out who the murderer is. There's been a fae relic stolen that has a lot of significance, so she's also trying to track down who stole it and where that is. all while trying not to get murdered herself. She's working alongside this angel who she doesn't particularly like, and he does not like her, and they have to work side by side to solve all these things whilst trying to resist their ongoing attraction for one another, and also while she discovers a lot of things about herself. Of course, in Sarah J Maas fashion, this main character is an absolute badass. She is just so likable, so funny. She just has so many like good moments in this book. This is a book that is amazing for the fantasy and for the romance and the writing. It is a book that is going to make you smile, it's going to make you laugh, it's going to make you cry, it will make you feel every single emotion. Like, I am not kidding, this is a roller coaster, and it will be the best one you ever ride, honestly. Like, I just cannot recommend this enough. Like, I loved it so much, and I'm just so excited to reread it. So like I said, go and check out my vlog that I did last year. I think I'm going to be doing a vlog for the second book as well, but honestly I just cannot wait, and I love this so much. Next we have Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, and this is part of a fantasy duology. I've never read anything by this author before. I was very kindly gifted this by one of my amazing patrons, Vanessa, so thank you so much, Vanessa. So I will read the synopsis for this. So this says, a stunning new adventure set in the kingdom of the Remnant. A formidable outlaw family that claims to be the first among nations, a son destined to lead, thrust suddenly into power. 3 fierce young women of the Rattan, the Queen's premier guard. A legendary street thief leading a mission determined to prove herself a dark secret that is a threat to the entire continent. When outlaw leader meets reformed thief, a cat and mouse game of false moves ensues, bringing them intimately together in a battle that may cost them their lives and their hearts. So I'm pretty sure this is kind of like an enemies to lovers kind of vibe, and the romance in this is supposed to be really good. And the main reason I want to read this is because I saw it on TikTok and everyone was saying like it was really good, and I'm not too into book talk. I want to be. I don't think I follow the right accounts just yet to be like up to date with what's popular on there, but I have seen this about enough times to know that it is, and that loads of people say that this is quite an underrated series. So I do own the first and second book, and I do plan to read them fairly soon, hopefully this month. Also, I'm obsessed with this cover. It is so stunning and I absolutely adore it, and I'm just so excited to read this. I feel like I'm gonna love it. I like the sound of the plot, and I just feel like it's going to be a fun time. Next we have These Hollow Vials by Lexi Ryan. So I got this in a Fairy Loot box a few months ago, and I believe again this is perfect for fans of ACOTAR, which is the main reason that I want to read this. I believe this includes Fae, but I honestly can't remember a lot about this. I just remember at the time I did really want to read it, and it's kind of just sat on my shelf unread for a couple of months, and I want to read it because I feel like I will genuinely love this. So I will quickly read the synopsis for this one to you as well. So it says, go to the Sealy Court, find the Queen's secret portal to enter the most dangerous place in Fairy, find my sister and rescue her from a power-hungry king. Child's play. She would do anything before making a deal with the Fae. It is preferable to their vicious schemes. And her sister is taken by the sadistic king of the Unseelie Court. There is nothing Bree wouldn't do to get her back, including making a deal with the king himself to steal 3 magical relics from the rival Sealy Court. Gaining unfettered access to the Sealy Court is easier said than done. Bree's only choice is to pose as a potential bride for Prince Ronan, the Sealy prince who's not quite as wicked as she once thought. Unwilling to let her heart distract her, she accepts help from a band of Unseelie misfits with their own secret agenda. But as Bree spends time with their mysterious leader Finn, she finds herself struggling to resist his seductive charm. Caught between 2 dangerous courts, Bree must decide who to trust with her loyalty and with her heart. So yes, this is fantasy romance. I think this is new adult maybe. It could be why, I honestly don't know. But yeah, I really want to read this because I love anything that's fae romance basically, and that's the only reason I'm excited for this. Then this next one, I'm not going to go into what it's about because it's been on my last 2 TBRs now, but that is the Thence Tea Party by Ramena Yee, and this is a gorgeous graphic novel. Look how beautiful these illustrations are. And this basically has a magical tea party and a ghost in it, and that's pretty much all I know. I'm really excited to read it. I can't wait. It looks absolutely stunning and I'm excited. Then lastly we have this book here, which I am currently listening to on audio. I've just very briefly started it. I think this is non-fiction, and this is Wintering by Catherine May, and this is basically a book about how rest in difficult times can like really change everything for you, and it's kind of almost a memoir and kind of a self-help book at the same time. And yeah, I just cannot wait to read this. I've seen some really good reviews online. Also, I'm just showing how gorgeous that is, and this is a gorgeous cover as well. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about this book. I don't know a lot about it other than that, and I just thought I would like to start off the year reading some non-fiction, so I will be making my way through the audiobook for this throughout January. and hopefully I can take something away from it. If not, hopefully it was just still like a beautiful book to read. But I'm really enjoying it so far. It's very interesting, and it kind of has read like a memoir so far. Maybe it is, but that's just like my interpretation of it, and I'm just having a lot of fun reading it. And then I may as well just show these last two books because I'm kind of in the middle of them. I don't know for sure if I will read them this month though. So this one here I only decided to try and finish this month, like when I was just thinking about books I didn't finish last year. I generally don't DNF unless I absolutely hate a book. It's very rare for me to DNF a book. What I will usually do is put a book to one side and come back to it another time if I'm just not feeling it. For the most part, I do like to try and finish the book even if I don't like it. Don't know why, it's just the way I am. But essentially I started this book last summer, which is For the Wolf by Hannah Whitton, and I got to page 312 and then stopped reading. I'm not gonna lie, I think it was just the pace for me. Like, it got a bit repetitive in the middle, so I kind of lost interest, and I was like, right, I'll come back to this another time. Read a little bit more and then stopped again. So I just want to finish it once and for all. This is not a bad book. Like, the magic in here is really cool, and I kind of like the romance, but at the same time it just wasn't really my vibe. I feel like maybe if I reread this at another point in time I'll probably love it, but at the time last year I just wasn't too keen. But I definitely do want to finish it now once and for all, and I only have like just over 100 pages left, I think. So I hope I can maybe at some point this month just whiz through those 100 pages and just get this finished once and for all. So I am just going to pop this on my TBR just in case I decide to do that. And then a book I'm kind of just reading now and then, well, rereading, is Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. I'm actually reading a paperback copy, but I don't have it to hand right now, so I don't know exactly where I'm up to. I think I was about 90 something pages in. This is just a reread for me. I'm not going to go into what it's about because everyone knows. It's a YA fantasy series and we follow an assassin, and it's just amazing. So yes, I just felt like rereading it. It's a comfort series and I do want to finish the series because I haven't yet. So I am slowly rereading it, and I might read some more of it this month. Yes, that is my January TBR. This probably won't stay definite. I definitely do mood read every single month, and I tend to stray off my TBR, which will definitely happen this month. But I'm hoping I do make it through a lot of these books anyway, even if I do pick up additional reads, which I have already done this month, to be honest. But yes, I am excited to get to some of these. I cannot wait to read them, and eventually I will read all of them, and I'm sure I'll love them. But yes, that is all of the books that are on my very big TBR for this month. Hopefully I can fit in another readathon and get through some of them that way, but I will hopefully be letting you guys know at the end of the month what I did get through. I'm thinking of starting wrap-ups again. I stopped doing wrap-ups midway through last year, or the start of last year, so if you guys would like me to start doing wrap-ups again, then let me know, because I might do that at the end of each month. I just was slumping hard and very busy with life the last few months of last year, so there was just no point me really doing them. I'm definitely feeling optimistic when it comes to reading this year. I'm hoping to get so much read each month, so hopefully I will have enough books to talk about for a wrap up. So if you guys do want those again, then please do let me know. But yes, I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, leave a book emoji in the comments and let me know what books are on your TBR, and give this a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. If you would like any extra content from me, I do have a Patreon where I upload extra reading vlogs and other videos. We do a monthly buddy read, we have a Discord, and I upload a lot of photos and behind the scenes stuff and give early access to most of my videos there. I will have a spoiler filled reading vlog for King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair going up there as well, so if you want to see that or any of my other previous reading vlogs or just any extra content, then you can head to my Patreon and join us there. I'll have it linked down below. But besides that, all of my social media will be linked down below. I hope you're all safe and well. I hope you're reading a lot of good books this month, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!